Have you ever been tempted by an investment opportunity promising sky-high returns with very little or no risk? What if you, or even worse, someone you love, put your hard-earned money into something like this, only to discover it's all a scam? Imagine years of hard savings gone in the blink of an eye. In fact, this is the reason I'm recording today's video, because a retired couple recently lost over $3.5 million in a Ponzi scam. Heartbreaking, isn't it? Hi, I'm Dhevan Naicker, a certified financial planner. And let me tell you, incidents like these aren't just nightmares for the victims. They're a stain on my industry. Now, you might start thinking that all financial planners are out there to make a quick buck. I want to assure you, that's not the case for many of us who genuinely want to secure your financial future. Now, here's the irony. You almost can't afford not to use a financial planner. Why? Because traditional bank products like fixed deposits just aren't cutting it. They offer low returns, don't allow diversification, and your money could be tied up for ages. Plus, these products may not have beneficiary nominations, which means executive fees and delays for your family. Let's not forget that the interest earned is subject to tax. Now, let's face it, financial advice is intangible. You can't see it, touch it, or taste it. The experience unfolds over time, and you often don't realize whether you received good or bad advice until it's too late. By then, you may have already lost thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands. So, how do you protect yourself? Today, I'll share with you 7 essential tips to help you avoid falling victim to Ponzi schemes or any investment scams that sound too good to be true. Stick around because this could be one of the most important videos that you watch all year. Now, let's get started as I head over onto the iPad to give you this clarity. And I'm going to walk you through each of these step by step. I'm going to show you how you can start to put the simple steps into place and ensure that your money is protected. Now, the first one's really easy. It's something that you might have already done. It's checking FSCA authorization. Let me explain. FSCA is Financial Services Conduct Authority. In a short while, I'm going to head over onto Google so that I can show you exactly how to get this done. But basically, FSCA is a governing body that ensures anyone that's giving advice is an authorized financial services provider. Now, you might hear this at the end of an advert on TV or radio, but let's head over onto Google. I'm going to show you exactly how you're going to search for this. When you do this, you are basically checking to see that the company or representative you are working with is actually authorized and can provide you with advice. In order for that to happen, they must be authorized with FSCA. So I'm doing a search here on Google. I'm typing in FSCA. It's FSCA. And straight away off the bat, you can see FSP search. So when you click on this, it now brings up the information for you. You could either search if you know the FSP number, you can search using that, or you can search for an FSP name. In this case, I'm searching for my practice. It's Retirement Wellness. SA. So I'm doing a search from here, and you can see it's found already that company name. So when I click in here, I can look under the details. Under the details, I can see more information about this particular company. Contact information if I need to, compliance officers, representatives, key individuals. So it gives me access to the information. Now, if you're dealing with a company that is not registered with FSCA, then it means you don't have the backing of FSCA, meaning you would not have access to the ombud, meaning it might not be very legitimate. It's a very, very simple process for you to follow. But once you get this done, you are ticking the first box that I've got from this checklist of 7. Let's head back because I want to show you the next one. The next one is ask for qualifications. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to different professions, it would operate very differently. For example, if you are in a medical practice, let's say you're heading over to see your doctor, chances are you're able to see the certification of the doctor on the wall. Or we sometimes may not even ask for the certification because you take it for granted. You know that inside that profession, all doctors have to study for X number of years. They've got to do some community service before they get to run their own practice. Whereas when it comes to the financial services sector, anyone can pretty much get into the sector. So how do you know that you're dealing with someone who is genuinely interested in staying in the profession, as opposed to someone who just got into the profession because they couldn't find a job? Now, your way to do this is to ask for qualifications. And it's pretty simple. If someone's qualified, chances are they're more likely to stay inside the profession. Would you agree? And the higher the qualification, the more serious, the more committed they are of doing this. Let me explain. The one I want to show you here is information for myself, but again, you're going to look at this and use it with your financial advisor or planner when you're working with them. I have in front of me my postgraduate diploma in financial planning. And again, you can see I've attained this via MOPARC. It has my information on it, but it also tells you that I've got the postgraduate diploma in financial planning with distinction. So it's a cum laude pass. Now, why are things like this important? Because when you're accessing information, you want to know that the financial advisor or the planner or the specialist that you're engaging with is very knowledgeable. Not just that, you want to check to see how they apply the knowledge. So make sure you stick it on for the end. I'm going to teach you a secret on how they can apply it. Now, this is one of the qualifications that you want to look for. But if you are aiming for the best of the best, then you want to look for this. This is a Certified Financial Planner Designation, CFP. Now, it is an international qualification. Let me tell you, it is extremely, extremely difficult to get this because there's a very high standard. The pass mark's pretty high. And I can even tell you a personal example with a friend of mine who lost by 1 mark and wasn't awarded the designation. So it's literally that strict. It's basically a board exam that you must pass, and only once you pass this and you achieve certain criteria, then you get the designation of Certified Financial Planner, which is why you'll find there's not many people out there who are Certified Financial Planners. Now, what are you looking for? You want to make sure, one, there's a member number, so you can get onto FPI's site and research this if you need to, but you also want to look at the effective date. Now, bearing in mind, the effective date doesn't necessarily mean when the qualification came about, right? Because my qualification came before this effective date. But all the effective date is saying is, when is it starting for that particular year and when is it ending? So you can see for myself, I'm recording this video in 2023, you can see mine ends on 31st December 2023, which is something I love about FPI because you've got to renew this all the time. They're constantly checking to see, am I making the competency standards? Am I still ensuring that I'm upskilled? There's a set of due diligence practice that I must follow in order to ensure I'm still able to get the certificate. So it's not just something you got to do in the beginning, it's ongoing, which is what I love about FPI. So again, if you're looking for the best of the best, having this designation is about the best that you can have inside of the profession. Let's head back so we can start to add more onto the other elements. Online due diligence. Again, I'm going to head over onto Google so that I can show you how to do this, right? But you can head over onto Google and do a search now for most things. So let's get back onto Google here. But you basically want to do some due diligence around your financial planner. You can do a search. I'm doing it for myself. So Dhevan Naicker. And for example, I'm going to click on YouTube. So when I get onto YouTube, you can now see how many videos has this financial planner actually done. You can have a look at the range of options that's available. You can head over onto the YouTube channel. So you can click onto the channel if the financial planner has a channel. You can have a look at all of the videos that are available. Maybe watch a few videos so that you're getting some experience. Now, what I love about YouTube is free. So you're doing this without having to pay for anything. However, what's powerful about it is you're now having some engagement with the financial planner. So if that financial planner is able to offer you some value on YouTube and you paid zero, now you know this could be the start of a good relationship, right? Especially if you're getting some type of value, you're able to learn something from it. And it doesn't just have to be YouTube. I'm using this as an example because it's one of the best things for me because it's how I'm able to impact people. But you can also have a look at Facebook. You can have a look at other social media platforms. But you want to run the search so that you get to see whether the financial planner is able to offer you some type of assistance. Again, before you pay for a consult and before you engage or make a serious commitment, you can run these type of checks. Next, also an easy one, you can request for testimonials. Now, when you're engaging with the financial planner, you can ask for testimonials of clients that the planner has helped. Again, you can choose the number. Although you might also just want to do different types of checks, right? Because what if the financial planner is giving you a list of just the top 10 clients and you can't get to see? Or you might have a fear that it's individuals that might not be linked to the practice and you're not certain. In which case, then I want you to do this search, right? Again, just like I've shared with you, you can have this search done on the social media platforms. Alternatively, I'm searching back in on my name and I'm doing Hello Peter this time. Now, when I get into Hello Peter, you can start to have a look at all the reviews that are taking place within this sector. So from here, you can see the reviews that are within my particular profile. Now, again, if a financial planner has this, you want to look for certain aspects, okay, which is unique to Hello Peter. For example, you want to start to have a look at a trust rating, because the higher the trust rating, again, the more likely you are to trust this particular company. 10 is the highest that you can have from here. If you see the ratings very low, let's just say it's a 3 or 4, now it makes you want to read the reviews to see why are people not giving a 5-star review. You can also start to have a look at the rankings. So if you can look on the side here, you can see in terms of financial advisors, I'm ranked number 1. In terms of investment and wealth, I'm ranked number 1. Financial consultants, ranked number 2. Banking and financial services, which is a big sector, I'm ranked number 4. So you want to go in to see inside of those who is number 1. And again, you want to have a look at the reviews. It'll give you some idea as to whether this person is good or not. What I love about Hello Peter, aside from the other elements I shared with you, is people are generally very open here. So you'll see the information's very exposed. Let's head over onto financial advisors so that you can start to see. I won't skip on mine. Now you want to be mindful. Debt counseling won't be the financial advice that you're looking for unless you're trying to get out of some debt, right? Again, when you start to see companies like Old Mutual, Investec, ABSA, TimeBank, these are the things that you want to start to pay attention to. And you can also start to look at under investments and wealth. So let's get into that, because it's another big criteria, especially if you're going to do some type of investment, right? Which is, again, what this video is about. So you'll notice here, you've got 10X, there's another company in, then you've got Old Mutual, Investec. So you want to start to have a look at the trust rating, because that gives you an indication as to how reputable the company is. Start to have a look at how many stars the company has, how many reviews had come about. Bearing in mind, when you're dealing with big companies like a 10X and Old Mutual and Investec, although the rating that you see here is for the company, but you also want to rate the individual, because they might have 1,000 people working in that particular company. You want to see the financial planner or specialist that you're engaging with, what is the rating for that particular individual, which is why I've done mine on an individual profile, right? Not just on my company profile. So I hope that one helps. Then let's continue with the next thing, because I've got something important that I want to share with you, which I believe will be the next, like the key factor, right? We're getting closer to it. So next thing that I want you to be focused on is be clear on your objectives. Now I'm going to tell you why this is so essential, right? When you have proper direction on what you want, when you are clear on the things that you want, then you know what you're looking for. If you don't do this, then you are going to follow your advisor. See, you're going to follow the planner. It's not necessarily a bad thing, right? However, you don't really want your planner to be choosing funds for you. You don't want your planner to be choosing places for you. When you start to be clear on your objectives, and I'll give you some ideas here, you want to be clear on what type of tax you want to pay. How much of tax do you want to pay? You want to be clear in terms of what sort of growth you want. You want to be clear in terms of the experience that you're looking for from the planner, what type of service you are looking for. So you can start to be clear on those things. Now, here's a secret. If you are not clear on what you expect from the financial planner, it's so easy. Just have a look at the things that you don't want. So when you know all the things that you don't want, especially if you've been burnt in the past and you've lost money or an investment's not performing as well as it should, you know exactly what you don't want. So from that, go and create a list of the things that you do want. And why this is important is when you're sitting in front of a financial planner, let's say you're sitting in front of me, you can now ask me for the things that you want. If I'm able to deliver on this, then you know the relationship's something worthwhile to continue. If I'm not able to deliver on it, I can tell you upfront, or you'd have a gut feel, and in which case you know I'm not the right planner, now you're going to look elsewhere. Which takes me to the next one. Test before you invest. This for me is the most important of all the 7. So if there's one that you want to remember and put into practice, it's test before you invest. What am I saying with this? At some point in time, I'm going to call it X. You're going to retire, or in the case of government employees, maybe you're going to look at resigning. And you'd have a significant amount of capital. I'm going to use an example here, and I'm going to just say 6 million rand. That's the capital that you have when you want to invest. However, that's in the future. And at this point in time, right now, you're not ready to exit. You're not ready to put away the 6 million rand. So this is where the test can come in. The test can come in. So maybe you've got a retirement annuity. It's not performing as well as what you expect. Maybe you're expecting a higher return, or maybe you're losing money on it. in which case you can test with the advisor right now. Maybe you've got some type of savings that are happening in the bank and you're not happy with it. Maybe you are paying too much in tax, in which case this is an opportunity for you to test the financial planner. So again, let's use myself as an example. You're aiming to invest 6 million Rand, maybe it's a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 3 years, 5 years down the line, you're aiming to invest that. But before you put 6 million Rand with me, you want to establish trust. And the way to do it, perhaps you've got a retirement annuity right now. I'm using an example. Maybe it's 500,000 or 100,000. Doesn't really matter the value. But you've got some money that's saved right now. So you can run a test. You can say to me, listen, I've got this retirement annuity. It's not performing as well as I expected. What can you do to enhance it? So this then allows you a chance to test me as a planner. You're going to test my tax ability. You're going to test savings ability. How good am I in terms of giving you advice with a small amount of money? And you also want to test service. So over a period of time, if I'm able to show you that money is growing, if I'm able to help you with tax refunds, now you have an actual experience. You're not just trusting me, but you've tested me, especially if the reviews are happening on a frequent basis. So if money is growing all the time and you're happy with the experience, now you've tested the solution. So going forward, investing 6 million just makes sense. Now, in order for you to test, it's obvious, but you've got to have time, right? So please, to test, you need to have at least, I would say 3 years. This is an ideal time, right? Which means if you don't have 3 years, you need to get going and make sure that you do this as soon as possible. Next, follow your instinct. Now, I'm saying this, please, with a big X, like big X here, right? And why I'm saying this is because that old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it isn't, right? However, I want you to do me a favor and please keep an open mind. Why am I saying this? Because when I engage with individuals to do their financial planning and I tell them it's possible to reduce their tax, in some instances to bring the tax to zero, if I'm speaking that to you and you're not an existing client of mine, you might believe it's untrue. You might say it's too good to be true because you're used to paying tax all the time. So why am I saying keep an open mind? Because just because you've been paying tax all your life, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's no way to save on tax. There's no way to pay less in tax. It just means you haven't had tax planning done. Because you've lost money in the past, because you may be losing money right now in an investment or it didn't perform as well, it doesn't mean that you can lose money going forward. It just means you've not had the right experience, you see? So when you keep an open mind, you're allowing yourself that opportunity to look at options that are available. Again, you don't have to take my word for it. Remember the secret I showed you with step number 6? You want to test. You want to test. So you can always test with something small, get the experience to see, am I able to put you in a position to save on tax? Am I able to put you in a position where you can grow capital? Once you set these things up, everything else falls into place. Now, I hope the video has been helpful for you. You now have 7 ideas, 7 tips in order to protect yourself. Make certain that you're not going to be putting any money in. So please do not sign until you know for sure that this is a solution that's going to work well for you. So please promise me. In fact, in the comments below, type in I promise. So I know that you are not going to be signing anything until you know for sure that the solution that you have is going to be rock solid. Again, post your comments below so that I get to see that the video has been helpful for you. If you have not already done so, give me a thumbs up so I know the video is helpful, and also click subscribe so that you get to watch these videos as soon as I produce them. And I'll see you in the next video.